Hello and good morning. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you being here. It gives me somebody to talk to knowing that there are out there those who are watching, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much, actually. Today I want to talk about a piece that I was given the other day by a Ivy League professor, a smart woman, very smart, going to a real nice school. And her topic was on Mussolini and fascism. And the article was sent along via an attorney who actually formerly worked in the White House, who's now a life coach. And this article on Mussolini and fascism was sent along to be a cautionary tale of fascism. And it outlined the rise of Mussolini and, his foibles and death and the death of his mistress. And I thought about it for a long time, and I decided to make it the topic of today's meditation or reflection, perhaps. Because I read the article that was beautifully written by an earnest academic, ideologically impaled, but nevertheless, probably a very nice person. And I came away from that article thinking, well, how much does ideology really matter? The case of this article was that ideology has a big part in who we are and how our outcomes are understood in the societies that we live. And I strongly disagree. What's really at stake is the fact that these personalities have become encaptured. They are hostages. They are in the thrall of ideologies. Well, why are they in the thrall? Because their personalities have been impaled. Ideologies are the magnet for psychopaths. It's where they go. It's their honey. It's what they like the most because it gives them power and ultimately not much responsibility, as we can see from our current stock of politicians, or perhaps we should just call them what they are, psychopaths, because they are never held accountable. It just doesn't happen. So incredible wrongs have wrought on humanity and they pay no price. They're barely even acknowledged as being the culprits. And yet these psychopaths run our governments from stem to stern, regardless of the ideology. I think that's the point I want to make. Without regard to ideology, these individuals, these personalities, overblown and captured in themselves, are the cause of the problem. It doesn't matter your ideology. It doesn't matter really what your affiliation is. Of course, the more powerful the ideology is the fact that these ideologies are more of a draw for the psychopaths. They are magnetized by power. And so that's the point. You think you have the right ideology. Well, you might. It might be that way, but the reality is that it's the psychopaths who have attached themselves to the ideology that are really driving it. And they're driving it for personal power. So even though you may think your ideological perspective is just right on, the people that are at the controls, the people that are in the captain's chair, are psychopaths. And they have with them many other issues that go along with their psychopathic personalities. And so it's really important to understand that the peripheral damage of these individuals, the collateral damage, beyond just the terror that their ideologies wrought, is just unbelievable. It's a terror to their families, to their children, to the generations that go behind them. They are dangerous individuals, and they have no business being in the positions of power that they occupy. So the question then is, how do you avoid that? How do you get them out of there? Well, the only way you get them out of there is by you understanding the nature of your own connection to the divine, to be able to have moral clarity, to be able to see them as they are. And that means, of course, that you must ditch your personality. And I don't mean kick it to the side of the road. I mean gently set it down and say, I'm not going to pay attention to that part of me that is connected to the beast. And we all are potentially creatures of the beast in so many ways. And I think that's the point I want to make. It's not even that we're potentially, that we, as Genesis says, we are creatures that come from dirt, organic matter. It's the material of this world that is basically the world of creatures, of beasts. In its finest sense, we are not that far from cattle or giraffes or elephants or other things. They are part of the chain, the DNA chain, I don't even know how to say, we are part of the lineage of this world. We come from this world. We are part of it. We are organically part of it. And that means that part of us is the beast. And we have been given by grace the opportunity to rise above our bestiality, to not just die in a field, but to connect to the divine hierarchy, by our ability to make choices of moral clarity that allow us to set aside our personality, that is our connection to the beast, and rise above that, to join the divine hierarchy into our rightful calling as creatures of the divine, as beings of the divine. We have risen above our bestiality. We have set it aside. And those who don't, they are in love with their bestiality. They are in love with their lusts and celebrity and power. They are captured by it. And as a result, they are dangerous to all humanity. So regardless of their ideology, they are dangerous individuals because they live for their personality. They are not living for their connection with the divine. They are not part of the expansion of the universe. They are part of a personality cult, which lives only for them and their devices and their desires. So they have replaced the divine with themselves. They are trying to make themselves divine, and they are trying to prove it by all that they have acquired and all the power that they have accumulated. So being wary of these individuals that come with very high quotients of charisma, that are impaled by their ideologies, and they are seeking to impale you. And they want you to send them $5 and then come to a convention and then meet them and then get an autographed copy of a photograph with them and then work for them and make their calls and do their bidding in every way. And you get applause and you get to feel part of something. Well, the something is really just a personality cult. And you have been captured. So it's important to understand the dynamic of what you're entering into and to provide that institution, that ideology, which seeks to impale you, with some perspective, some moral clarity. So you get to speak up and you get to say to these people, no, I'm not going to do that. That's wrong. You're lying. You're not telling the truth. So now we are in a situation where our population has been systematically lied to for generations. And the lies continue and they persist. And those who are impaled cannot distinguish between the truth and the lie. And if they can, at some very subliminal level, they are scared to death to say it because they are so captured. And their personality depends on upholding the lie. And so it is then that if you can set aside your personality, you are not captured by the lie. You are not beholden to the ideology. You are in fact free. And as a free agent with moral clarity, that is where leadership and the chance to connect our society to the divine becomes real in your reality and your understanding of the nature of who you are, where you come from, and where you're going, and what your calling is. And that calling for you can be understood in the context of your social connections. You can surround yourself with people like you who are morally clear on where they're going, and they love their families and their children, as I do. You know, it's really important to understand that these factors which bring us together allow us an opportunity to exert the influence of the divine hierarchy on those around us. We do not have to be held in their sway. We are not in their thrall. They are in ours. If we choose to tell them where we come from and where we're going. And that's the meditation, to be able to spend time understanding the nature of the personalities that are around you and distinguishing what it is that makes them who they are and where they're going. Do they have a divine calling, or are they slaves to personality? Are they impaled by ideology? And so therein lies our opportunity to be a restorative force, to provide a re-enchantment of the world around us in a healthy and fine way that gives us great satisfaction and connection. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be easy. It could be very difficult. And you could be outed. You could be yelled at. You could be called names. It's likely. Because those people don't want to live in the light. They are afraid of the light. They crave the darkness, and the darkness of beings, and the darkness of ideology. And they want blood, and they want sacrifice, and they want it to be you. And I'm saying, no, don't go there, don't do that. So regardless of the ideology, pay attention to the personalities and to your own connection with the divine to be able to cipher your path and your calling. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you'll send me a comment. I'm in lots of different platforms, and I look forward to somebody from all of them having a listen and a watch. Amen.